How's it? This is Scott Picken. I'm the founder and CEO of Migrate, founder and chairman of IPS. And I've had hundreds of people ask me, how did I get to come to Necker Island? And before I get into answering that question, it's the most beautiful day here. I'm right up the top of the main house. You can see Richard's house in the background there. And then all the way around, I'm actually up on the hot tub here. And you can see how spectacular the view is today. I mean, the scenery is absolutely special. I think I'm going to probably continue this conversation down where it's not as windy. You can see the kite surfers out there. I don't know if that's Richard, it's a bit far away for me to see. But he's probably out, he's out there every day. We're about to go ziplining. But I wanted to answer that question. So how do you get to Necker Island? And I'm going to answer that while I walk around this beautiful place and you get to see all the different parts and shapes. Firstly, it starts with knowing where you want to be. So, I always say to people, if you want to get to the top of a mountain, you've got to start to know where the top of the mountain is. If you don't know where your top of the mountain is, if you don't know the exact point at the top of Everest or the top of Kilimanjaro that you want to get to, you'll never get there. So, that's where we have breakfast every morning. It's pretty cool. But, and so what most people do is, because they're not clear as to how to get to the top of the mountain, they're not clear on what their goals are, they're not clear on what they even want. They say, oh, I want to meet Richard Branson, or oh, I want to come to Necker Island. But they don't actually know what they want. They haven't written it down. And so they just walk round and round the bottom. And to use the analogy of a mountain, they literally are just walking. Everyone's getting ready there to go ziplining. People are literally just walking around the base of a mountain. So this is the main games area. You can see there. Now basically the way the bar works here is everything is free. You can come anytime you want. Just walk in, help yourself, whatever you want. Bottles of champagne, whatever you're looking for. That's where we did karaoke the other night on the big TV. This here is the big 10-foot table, 10-meter table. We actually did table sliding yesterday. So table sliding, we put water on here, we put soap on here, and we had to race down and jump on here.
First we put on our helmets and our harnesses, and we were good to go.
That's Jeff trying to make this politically correct. So they're walking around the base of this mountain, and they're just walking around and around, and they're getting more and more frustrated, and they're getting lost. They've got no map, and they're going around up and down the paths, and they'll go to a new course, they'll read a new book, and it's like a little course that they just go up a little path, but they're not clear where they want to get to. How cool is this pool? So you've got this pool and pool bar. I can't really show you, but all the way down there you've got the other main pool bars. I mean, this is just one of about 20 pools and jacuzzis and everything else. And so really what you've got to do is you've got to focus on what you want. And there's a great book that I read many, many years ago by Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. And I literally sat down many years ago and I wrote down what I wanted. And one of my bucket list items was to meet Richard Branson. I mean, between him and Tony Robbins, they're the two people that inspired me most in business. I think Nelson Mandela would be right up there as well, but I'm talking purely in business. And so, what I think is, hang on 2 seconds. So this is me coming into my room here on Necker. Pretty cool. You can see my rugby ball and a bit of my mess. But I think really what I wanted to share with you is that I read that book with Tony Robbins, and it all spoke about planning and goals. I mean, we've just done a session this morning, and some of the most successful people in the room, I mean, people that have literally sold companies for $800 million and up. Richard Branson, who we all kind of know, is a billionaire 8 times over. So this is just quickly the view from my room. That up there is Richard Branson's house. Also behind it is where the temple is, which is where all the elders, the 12 greatest elders from around the world get together. People like Nelson Mandela, Kofi Annan, some of the American presidents, Jimmy Carter, etc., etc. And you can see down here you got the flamingos. It's a pretty cool view. That's my outdoor shower. And so really the essence of what I'm trying to say to you is that I wrote down what I wanted, and my bucket list was to meet Richard Branson, and I did that in 2009, I think 2009, 2010. I met him. I've got a huge picture of him and me on my wall at my office. And then 2 years ago, one of the people that I work closely with, Roger Hamilton, did a video quite similar to this, and he was there with Richard Branson at the island, and I was overwhelmed. And I literally said to myself, right, that changes the bucket list. I'm going to get to Necker Island. And to be honest, I had no idea how to get here. And I looked into it. Roger pointed me in the right direction. Obviously he he knew some people and he got me introduced to the right people, and then I was told how much it was and I nearly fell off a chair. It's pretty much this, you know, because it's a big donation you've got to make to Virgin Unite. It's all for charity. And you know, for me it was like, right, I got no idea how to do that, but because I was very clear on what I wanted to achieve, I made it happen. And it took me less than 2 years, and I'm here. And I've spent a whole week here with Richard Branson, literally. I mean, he's available breakfast, lunch and dinner. He's playing tennis. I've kite surfed with him. I've asked him every question I could answer. I've given him my business plan for Wealth Migrate, and most importantly, the cause of the wealth movement. There's no more that I needed from him. There's no more time I needed. It was absolutely incredible. And so when people say, how do you get to Necker Island? How do you meet Richard Branson? There's only one thing you have to do. You have to get clear on what you want. You have to set your goals. You need to write them down. And then magically, you'll make it happen. And, you know, it wasn't easy for me. I had to jump through some major hoops. But the bottom line is I did it. And so this is me coming live from Necker Island. And hopefully, if nothing else, that inspires you a little bit to realize that no matter what you want in your life, you can have it as long as you can put your mind to it. And that's what my father taught me, which was one of the greatest lessons I ever got. So hopefully that helps. If you've got any questions or comments, just post below and ask me, and I'll tell you anything you want to know. I've still got to do my update for day 5 as well, as to what I learned today on the island. But anyway, hopefully that's inspired a few people, and hopefully we'll get to meet some other amazing people on this island too. Cheers. Oh, and by the way, I'm coming back next year.